Game number 2, and maybe there's hope. Voldemar has done something a little bit wacky here. HRE is expected from Anno, but Voldemar, he had Delhi. He had Chinese. These are the expected picks, and these are the ones that HRE can be happy against. Abba's less explored, but we are still on a Pro Scouts meta, on a Pro Scouts map. Let's see what Voldemar has in mind here. I mean, he was in chat the other day speculating about the Culture Wing build we were talking about for Pro Scouts. Whether you can do that against HRE, I'm not so sure. I think HRE is one of the best Pro Scouting civs in the game, right? They're like, what, top 4, top 5? But he needs to here. Reminder, we're best of 3s. The next KPMMs are going to be moving over to quarterfinals, becoming best of 5, so there will be more hope for Voldy. Right now, he needs a win. He needs it desperately. If he gets this win, all of a sudden, game 3 is anyone's for the taking, right? Because it means Anno's going to be stuck with French and Malians, and you have Chinese/Delhi. Probably Chinese for Cliffside if he gets there. But he still does have to make his way past the Goliath. Looking at the spawn, though, is there anything beneficial here? Not really. He got Ford Berries, double Ford Berry spawns pretty rough here against HRE pressure. The deer stack at the back doesn't really feel like one that you can easily wall off or secure. He's got a lot of wide area needing walling on the west side. In some ways, it's kind of weird the way that this split. Because if you had Anatan spawn, I think you'd be quite happy. Double berry back. Third one obviously very far out, but you at least have a second reserve. So Voldemar, I think he's going to Eco Wing 2TC here. And we all know how I feel about Eco Wing 2TC, right? Leaves me numb. It's not exactly a build that has inspired success at all. Semis best of 7s and finals best of 9? I don't know about that. We'll start with a BO5 an earlier round and see how we go. Voldemar should pull the Beastie Abba cheese build. What's that? Where they learn how to make cheese? He's doing it. This is the builds. It's happening! Okay, so let's check. His macro makes sense for it. He's got 4 on gold. So guys, the goal with this build is meant to be POC into Pro Scouts. The tricky part is by going POC, you are going to delay your Pro Scouts by an extra 30 seconds, right? But in return, you are already going to return most of the cost of preservation knowledge on the savings you get from Pro Scouts. And then the follow-up play is like all the eco techs along the way. As you scale towards Castle Age, you get very notable savings in the coming minutes. Tricky part is if you just go for a naked fast castle here, if Anno notices what you're doing, which he should notice, right? Like, it kind of stands out. Then he can all-in contest you. HRE is a very good civ at sending it to punish fast-castling Abbas. One good thing for Voldemar, if Anotan mirrors Castle Age, he's going to want to open Knights. You're in a good position because Abba will be able to go military wing, giving them 2 camels to buffer away. Now, the good news for Voldy, he's at least going to get 20 seconds of unknown here, right? Because Anatan, actually, it might be 40 seconds. He hasn't checked the west corner yet. He just completed the full circulation. And Anatan is dirt all for it. Only 7 sheep compared to 14 for Voldemar. And on top of that, Voldemar has cut him off. Now, the negative of this, now knowing that he's cut off, Anno should be checking the enemy side of the map. Hawk is on the way. Pro Scouts has already been queued by Anno, so he's already going to have that edge on the timing here. The worry I have about this type of build against a civ like HRE that can just immediately slap bang go into Pro Scouts, you now don't have any presence. You could go opening Horseman here, but usually that feels really bad against HRE. Just because this is a civ that quite confident in a lot of matchups will open the racks to try and pressure you, right? And the marching drills makes it easy to do so. Yeah, so like one big part of why we're making the BO5 change is because sometimes if you just get your draft a little bit wrong and misunderstand the opening map, it can feel very punishing to BO3. Now, we still want to keep the default map setup because I like the default map setup. I think it's a good way of harvesting data. Players are sometimes stubborn to what they like playing, right? If you allow them to pick Dry Arabia all the time as a default map, they'll pick Dry Arabia as a default map. Granted, I know, most balanced map any civ can play. But the balance of KPMM is meant to be prepping people for different map pools, prepping people for tournament play, but also improving the esports scene in multiple different ways. And one of those ways is getting refinement on maps, right? Because the last thing we want to see is a quirky looking map gets picked up for an S tier tournament that has 0 existing data on whether it's good or not. So I think, like, you know, recently one of the players was like, is this the place for this format? And I'm like, I think so, because these are a week long, right? So if we get it wrong, and I'm not saying we're always going to get perfect, but if we get it wrong as a bad map, it's a week, right? Per player, that means you play that map maximum 5 times. And then we know it's bad, we move on. But if it's a great map, all of a sudden we have more diversity in map pool in AoE 4, which is not a bad thing. Right, I don't think we're at a point when map diversity is over the top. It's not like we've got 40 maps that get used regularly and competitive that are considered to be top tier. That's when you have this dilution issue. We have, like, at the core of it, maybe 8 to 10 maps that feel like they're really solid for comp. There's the spin reaction for Anna we were talking about. Voldemar. Is he turning this into a Pro Scouts feudal play? Oh god, he's going camel arches. In theory, it does count as spearman. But look at what Anno's doing. Wait, is he going fast castle? Oh, that's a sick read. Yeah, he's even got the outpost coming. And he'll be able to contest the goodies over here. The boar is going to get pulled, but these spearmen are way too fast. It's crazy how different HRE is ever since the marching drills. Marching drills being there by default changed everything about this civ. Voldemar is going to just drag some of the deer back from the seaside. Looks like his own haven't been contested at all. I think he took 1 deer from safe home, and the rest is now coming from his opponent's side. Remember, Anatan's tech time is going to be a lot more competitive here. Now, with Pro Scouts, as long as he gets enough food, he can just open Castle Age with Horsemen, which makes a lot of sense. It would be the best solution to what Voldemar is doing right now. The alternative for Anatan would be to go straight into Archer spam. Also, a pretty reasonable answer. Is the new DLC date announced? No. Wait, you mean you guys don't know that it's on... Sorry, I accidentally unplugged my microphone. Did you get all that? It's a ring that's not on the way. Voldemort, he doesn't know, right? He must be a bit suspicious, right? If you're being attacked, there'd be a lot more troops coming already. HRE economy is that good. I mean, you kind of notice a deficit of 1,800 resources and pressure. But this is smart. I mean, Anna's doing exactly what he needed to here, right? He sees that it's the Camel Archer play. He has got Horseman in the way, but Voldemar, he isn't just going to be one of those Camel Archer only boys. We're not getting a Daniskia type build here. We're getting the Spearman. I mean, the thing is, by the way, like, there's a lot of speculation on DLC at X or Y. I do think that we're at a point where we really have a requirement for the new DLC in the first half of the year. But I'm skeptical because it could technically be any point in the year. Did they give a season or something? I think they might have, I don't know. But even if it's a season, that's 3 months length, right? Although coming in, looks like we have got some interception plans for Voldemar. Difficult to do, though. Like, yeah, the Camel Archer is going to get way too close. Oh, nice micro there. Voldemar minimizes the damage he takes. Denies the Prelate. Second relic is on the way home for Anno. And this one is quite close now. However, Anatan may have misread this. Going Knights means you can't directly contest the Camel Archers. You're going to have to raid the economy. Oy, oy, oy. Is this actually going to work? I mean, I thought Camel Archers were balanced now, chat. I could have sworn I read many reassuring comments that this is not OP anymore. It's kind of looking OP. At least against this opening. You have to remember spears take bonus damage from these, right? Light melee infantry get doubled up on the damage. And this is the cool thing about Camel Archers. This is the thing that made them look strategically very useful in the meta for a little bit. It's like, it's a feudal age unit that is cavalry that has basically got the same damage as a horse archer. It's more expensive than a horse archer, but also has more utility, more health. Not much to really hate about them. The only weakness, really, of Camel Archer spam is the scale point. It's very slow to produce these. The Knights are going to now start raiding in. Now remember, Voldemort, he's going Eco Wing, but he's still only 1 TC. However, with this play, he could just bloat 3 TC. Knight is getting good damage in, though. Yeah, slow reactions there as Voldemort does lose 3 workers to the first knight to arrive, and there should be more on the way after this. Prelates are still dragging back the goodies. Camel Archers are basically dancing left and right just to keep intercepting. We do have a move out for additional relics. So... Oh, no way. He's going to snake him, right? I think Voldemort is going overkill here. He sees the prelate, he selects his army, and now Anatan can get the safer relic home. So this is still going to be at least 3 relics for the HRE. And on top of that, Anno isn't lagging behind here, man. What's that? Voldemar's about to go Eco Wing and play 3 TC? Gee, I'm going to go Imperial Age and play 4 TC. This is past Swabia. We've got an old school HRE build. It's actually crazy how good it looks in this game. Did Voldemar make the wrong move, per se? I don't think so. Eco Wing wouldn't have changed his situation, right? Eco Wing would have allowed your opponent to rush Castle Age. He would have got the relics even easier. Pro Scouts also at least allowed you to take some of the food away, which means Anatan will eventually have an uncomfortable transition into farms at an earlier point than he otherwise would in this game. Like right now, I think he's actually down to, yeah, the final 2 div. So he's going to have to rush farms ASAP. And Pulse of Swabia is worth 3 TCs. It's not just the fact that it produces at the rate of 3 TCs, it's also the fact that it costs a third of what villages are meant to, right? So what you actually end up with, kind of wild about it, is a TC with triple the production rate that doesn't spend more than 1 TC per minute. I don't know if Voldemar's aware of what's really happening here. We do still have Anatan trying to get these relics. You know why he's contesting it as well. Like, Voldemar could realistically now just add in a mosque and take these 2 away. You've kind of ended up this awkward situation where the remaining relics, like before this, Anatan done a really good job of making Voldemar dance, you know? Smooth grooves across the map. But now, the remaining relics are all in one location. So Voldemar's game becomes a lot more linear. Anna, is reinvesting into knights really the play? I mean, how diveable is he is what you got to really ask here. We've got a lot of stone being gathered, and we do have spawn replacements coming in. In an ideal world, you would have had enough resources to get past the swab and get cannons, but we don't live in that world. On top of that, he didn't set up outposts on the south side. Voldy will see how much stone is gone and be suspicious of what's actually happened here. So, you know how Anatan wasn't really active in the pro scene in, like, 2022 at the highest level? It's kind of funny how he's literally just building like it's 2022. This is an old school HRE build. Old school in that you used to always just spam knights into Imperial, right? Like, this was the bread and butter of this civ for quite a while. Springle's now starting to get garrisoned in the towers. It's going to make this difficult to die for Voldy. Wait, what? 1% of DLC revenue should go directly into a budget from WoW 420s? I feel like in general, more games should actually take that approach. I mean, in fairness, Microsoft does provide funding and support. Usually it's just price pool funding in most cases, but I think some might get some actual production funding. But in general, there are a lot of games that don't actually do anything for the esports scene. It's kind of sad, right? Like ones that won't even provide prize pooling. They basically just allow tournament organizers to struggle to run events, and then they have loads of DLC and crap coming out. So World's Edge and Microsoft do at least put some money into the scenes. But like, I've always talked about how interesting it'd be if your game is, let's say you've designed a game that is carried on its esports scene. If you truly believe that's the way the game has to be, why not just give a profit share to like the top 20 scenes, so they will amply invest in your scene. That's how you make esports sustainable. This is getting weird for Manatan now. We're up to 13 knights. Keep in mind, he didn't hit his Imperial Age timing, so now the free TC is kicking in for Voldemar. Wall's also going up, so a game that looked like it should have been grim is starting to look pretty secure. On top of that, Anatan, for some reason, isn't building the farms up here. He's that paranoid about the Camel Archers. He's building a lot more farms behind the base. Take a percent of the marketing budget. See, that's the thing, though. I don't think... I might be wrong about it. I don't feel like Microsoft historically puts a lot of budgeting, at least in the Age of Empires department, into DLCs, etc. I might be wrong on that. Right, but Sons of 10 didn't really have much marketing, which was a shame. I hope ample marketing is done around the new DLC. I think the game deserves it. It's in a good place, and it's proven that it's worth it. But it's almost like because of how much money was spent on the launch of Age of Empires 4, we're not really seeing big spend again, right? Because they went crazy. Remember, you could basically see Age of Empires in Times Square. It's not going to be able to break in here. At this point, Anatan just needs to get out of the Age. This is hurting him really badly. The walls are up. The knights can't really do any damage anymore. He's got 2 behind the walls at least. There's still some gaps, but those are quickly being filled in. And it looks like we are getting into a macro game. Well, so, interesting comment there. The frustrating thing was having the most successful DLC of all time and not seeing proportional investment in the game's pro scene. The problem is, like, what does more investment in the pro scene get you in return, right? You got to, like, it's return on investment logic. Is it better to look at the delayed income of statistics saying that the DLC done really well and then put more marketing effort behind the next DLC? Or is it better to say, oh, wow, this actually done really well, but now the hype has died down. Let's throw more money at the limited scene, right? When you put it like that, the valuable investment is very obvious, right? Something that isn't as obvious is the outcome of this game. Voldemar is about to be an age behind. However, we have Eco Wing. We have the potential to scale a lot of farms. He has even got agriculture on the way. Is it a big enough eco lead to keep him competitive is my concern. Anatan, I believe, is quite a few more farms deeper, right? It's 9 farms for Voldemar so far. Anno's at 26. And now, he's going to be able to close the gap on the villager count at a rapid pace. So, we're just going to add more TCs, right? I mean, you could kind of do it. I think the issue is Voldemar, if he adds more TCs, he delays his imp timings very much. Maybe the better way here, possibly 4 TC, but before you go for the 4th TC, you have to trigger Imperial Age. Likely, we're going to be looking at Military Wing, big poggers. Get your hands on some Gunner boys. Very rarely see it. If a monk is holding a relic and is in a transport ship and it sinks, is the relic lost forever? No. When it sinks, it will end up on the shore. Once upon a time, I think it used to be based on where you were last on land. I think now it's based on the closest part, the closest shore is where the relic will end up. The closest shoreline, rather. So wherever the closest piece of land it can find is that is like walkable, boom. Now, what I'm not sure of is if, for example, there's a tiny island that is full 360 cliff but has a tiny high ground, if the relic would go there. I assume not, because you can drop relics in like the shallow coastline area, so it would just end up on the coast. So I have some wide play here. Anatan, he's going straight into hand cannoneers. Kind of makes sense with the fact that Voldemar's just going raw spearman. So the more traction the pro scene gets, the more people watch, the more people stay invested or start playing themselves, best marketing. So the problem of that logic is, like, why are people looking at the game? Once again, new content is the easiest way to get people to look at the game. Unless you think you have a truly compelling esports scene that is entertaining to a generic audience to watch, you can't put the esports scene first before growth of the player base. And as much as many of us may love Age of Empires 4, if you are not an Age of Empires 4 person, I want you to think about it from a POV of someone who does not play or watch AoE 4 a lot already. Does this look enjoyable to watch? Versus Apex, Call of Duty, right? These type of Rocket League. The answer is probably no. So you have to buy people into the game first before you buy them into the esports scene. And that also drives participation in the esports scene, which is just as important to keeping a vibrant esports scene. Our esports scene would be dead already if you didn't have upcomers like Louis MT, Kiljadi, and Azad. Same with the other generation just behind them, a lower tier, like people like Voldemar that are still climbing up the echelons. We've seen them this weekly. Myriad comes to mind, Cat as well. You need all of them, but they don't come through if you don't get new players in. And Voldemar, he does still have the eco lead, by the way. I'm impressed with where he's caught up here. This is interesting, man. We actually have improved processing on the way. I don't think Anatan is in that great of a position anymore. The tricky thing with HRE is they're not really the OP Civ people envision them to be in the age they used to be. HRE are really, really strong in Feudal. Castle beginning, great. What makes them strong in Imperial is their timing. They get Imperial Age quicker than other people. It was the classic reason that the people thought they were ridiculous. It's like, very linear, but very powerful. Let's just rush in. Can you stop me? The problem in this type of game is like, when we flesh out our Imperial on each side, who's actually better here? Abbassid or HRE? Well, HRE's big edge in Imperial is their economy. Hello, Abbassid economy speaking. Would you like to see all the ducats we have hidden in our treasury? Right? These guys don't really fall behind on economy in late game. On top of that, they have a nice variability between premium units and trash. Camels for the premium, and the trash can be produced at a ridiculous rate courtesy of the Golden Ages. So, tricky situation for Anno. He has only got 3 relics. It's not like a 5 relic game where, you know, Voldemar is definitely running out of gold either. And even if he does, this is one of the best civs at trading in the game. The trade posts are quite reasonably located. Not like golf, you probably won't watch unless you play. Yeah, kind of like that, right? Like, there are sports that actually do just get people, like, watching. I think what people sleep on with StarCraft's esports scene that pulls decent numbers still, the reason it pulls decent numbers is because you have a generation of players who played it and now just want to watch it. Age of Empires 2 has this same thing. A lot of the people who enjoyed playing might not want to play anymore. They want to watch still, though. That helps a lot. That helps tremendously. A little dive in here from Lot of Spears. Is at least keeping his opponent pinned, but Anno for the time being still has some resource access. However, Voldemar, I mean, he's like a belt on the map here, right? He's keeping it buckled up, making sure those trousers don't fall and make him look a bit embarrassed here. If he can complete that belt across the center, Anatan is guaranteed to run out of resources first. But we do have the keep drop coming in, so it's going to be a denier against the Sacred Site win condition. Voldemar does see it. I don't think this is going to be quick enough to stop it, though. The hand cannon is just a little bit too effective. The build force a bit too strong. So castle definitely going up here. That's the front line with some of the hand cannoneers, but worth it to get this online to block Voldemar's win condition. Now, one thing that is interesting, we're not seeing it right now from Anno, even though he has quite a few prelates. This Inspired Warriors tech gets slept on way too much when HRE goes hand cannoneers. It's more critical to have that tech when you play Order of the Dragon, but there are certain unit types for HRE that also get just as much value, and hand cannoneers are one of them. Body. Man. Do you ever get that feeling that Voldemar spent his entire childhood watching Shrek? Pretty much just the onion scene on repeat is what I imagine. This guy is obsessed with his walling. We've come to know it, we've come to expect it. Well, some raids are starting to sliver in a little bit here, though. I mean, Voldemar, he can afford to lose some workers, right? He's pretty healthy, and well, healthy on the villagers themselves as well, independently. He got the tech. Remember, there's a tech that gives you additional health for every single eco tech you've researched. These villagers have 117 HP each. Reminder, that's more than you'll get on a veteran spearman. It's almost more than you'll get on an elite spearman. Keep drops coming in again from Anno. I tell you what, this man's going to work a miracle if he pulls this one out, because right now the game looks incredibly uncomfortable, right? Like, you just don't have gold access. He did brute force his way in on the east side, though. 6,000 extra gold to work with that you wouldn't have expected him to have just 2 minutes ago. This is interesting, right? Like, Voldemort, he got the camel support, doesn't actually have camels. On top of that, Anno is splitting the map. So you don't really get that condensed fight that maybe would favor Voldy. Important as well, considering just how many the hand cannons Anatan has now thrown away. I mean, what's really missing here for Voldemort? Long-term trade, sure, but for the time being, he has a lot to still exploit. He's got, what, about 7,000 gold? Ah, no. 11,000 gold. So at this rate, Anno should run out sooner. Especially with the amount of HCs he keeps adding in. Sudico is terrible. He did just get idled on the farms, right? And then also, he's kind of limited in the count. Yeah, only 20. Kind of crazy to see an Abbassid player at 140 economy having so little farms, but it's because he rushed all the gold. Like, if you look at his worker distribution, you see the problem here, right? A lot of people on gold, more than you've got on food. He's trying to rush the limited resource and put the infinite resource later. And the wall shenanigans. Wait, no, he could actually get this up quick enough if he just didn't bother with the key. What? Wait, no, there's... It'd be fine. It's a minute until the cannon. If that was cannon, it would have been curtains on the villagers there. Actually, to be totally honest with you guys, even if it was cannon first, they have 123 HP. No, don't pay attention to the horseman. Just keep clicking. Just keep clicking. La 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 la. I can't hear you over the sound of my hammers. Does this work? Come on. People in questioning whether that tech is worth it. I think we can answer with a resounding yes. Public libraries, kids. This is why you should still use them. What was that? 9 villages? Maybe 10? Those are elite horsemen. And it looked like a joke. Incredible. So castle goes up. Means you should be able to eventually at least contest this, but there is at least fortification coming with cannon placements there, so for the time being, Anatan is going to be able to get that gold trickle. Oh my god. All of a sudden, we have a bit of a series here. If Voldemort can just solve this food issue, Anno might start to run into problems here. Easy drop on the forward. Keeps weren't able to stabilize. Looks like the cover and play did work out from Voldy. And right now, Anno is a little bit too distracted trying to take down castles of his own. He's going to end up losing a siege. He has to cancel the key. It's a pretty big investment by Anno just wasted here. The worrisome part as well is the fact that he's just bloating a lot of horsemen against mass spears. But Voldemort, does he have enough gold for adjustable crossbars? It feels like the logical way to go here. Mass spears usually is complemented well by mangoes. He might be a little bit scared that his opponent could dive in with the hand cannoneers because he does have the marching drills. Alright, predictions in, guys. Do you think Voldemort's going to win this press 1 or is Anatan press 2? Anno's food is still just so much better. 47 farms now. Voldemort is catching up though. He's now up to 44. Just adding in like an extra 10. And the best thing is, when a horseman raid comes in, you don't have to leave. No, guys, stop leaving. Chill. Shh, don't leave. Just go back and work. God damn it. We don't have to be scared. We also have medical centers. Wait, actually, that's a really good question. Why doesn't Voldemar just build the farms around the TC? I think he's been playing too many English games recently. Because if you just build the farms around the TC, when these horseman raids come in, your villagers get healed by medical centers. Just like nothing happens to them, right? It would take probably like 2 minutes to kill a villager. You done it a little bit here, but then like these extra TCs, yeah, you used it a bit here, but I mean this one is a jackpot waiting to happen. I always love watching villagers work on a farm that's on fire. Like, woo wee! This food is hot. Everyone wants it. I ain't got enough time to send the wheat off to the bakery to be baked. We're just going to do it here on the farm. It's healthier because it's toasted, yeah. What are these wolves? Rams are going to be able to take out the keep here. Anatan is definitely winning these fights, but it's coming at a heavy price on the gold. And he's running out fast. In fact, I think he's drained all of his gold. There's one left he could try and secure here. And in fact, he's moving for it now. And arms hand cannon is definitely not cheap on that pocket. So I think, is Voldemar at the maximum? No, you can go higher. Right? Maybe not. No, because it's a Pro Scouts build, right? So you already took that tech. I'm looking for eco techs, chat. We need additional eco techs. Trade techs don't count, I don't think. You'd need naval techs, wouldn't you? Yeah, you need fishing. So I believe 126 is his maximum. I think that's pretty good, though. Right now on the west side. Look at that. They've almost killed a villager again. Wow. Oh my god. Usually Abbassid players don't care about their villagers because they're cheaply replaceable. In this game, Voldemar doesn't have to care about them because they're self-sufficient. They just don't die. Feels like Anno just has to work so hard to do any real damage, right? He's starting to shrink the map in an important way. He's getting close to the base. We do, however, have stone walls in response. The Culverin plan looking pretty good here. Castles are starting to flop. And Anno, remember, he went mass men at arms, so he doesn't actually have that horseman strat to just dive in for the kill. I can't believe this. Voldemar, usually the expectation is mass mangoes. Mass Culverins is kind of intriguing, though. Right, you do 85 siege damage to an infantry unit, meaning you do 2-hit hand cannoneers. And it also means that you would, what, almost 2-hit men-at-arms. 6 calls enough to protect them. Kiljadi, he has all these spears. If he targets the hand cannoneers, I can kind of get behind it. And yeah, he is. Oh no, Anno. He needs to be rushing the siege weapons right now. He's losing quite a lot of hand cannoneers to this. The Colts do need to pull back. The gate is on the way. Voldemar has an escape plan in mind. He's gonna book it. Wait, does he not have greased axles? I mean, he does. I just forgot. Culverins move way too slow. Uh-oh. Hand cannoneers are going in. We do have a castle here. Just delete it already. Come on, it's a palisade wall. And remember, guys, you'll see that correctly. Medical centers does work on the Culverins. Is it me, or is this the craziest culture wing game we've seen? This is, I think, the first game I can recall where every single tech from the culture wing has been a necessity. Medical centers, public libraries, and of course, beginning all with the preservation knowledge for the Pro Scout strat. This is the most valuable culture wing game I think I've ever seen. In some ways, it's kind of easy to achieve this when you remember the public libraries is a more recent thing. It used to be proselytization, that very useless tech that allowed you to convert enemy units that no one ever got because it was pointless at 200 pop. I love these scouts as an answer actually to rams. I mean, it's correct, guys. They do have bonus versus siege. So farms are starting to be caught out here, but I mean, behind this, Voldemar has at least, what, 40 farms safely in the base. Does need to think about more stone walls, though. 150 Vil kills without the HP tech? Exactly. Like, it's just actually ridiculous how many villagers have failed to flop. And also, think about the knock-on effect. Voldemar had some serious food issues at the point where he started to get raided. If it wasn't for the public libraries, I think he would already be dead. Nice raid onto the economy here. Anathan did pretty much tap the gold dry, though. We will eventually kill this one man-at-arms. Yeah, he doesn't have EAT. In fact, it's kind of crazy that he doesn't have elite army tactics, considering he's been massing spears. I understand it to a certain extent that he was up against hand cannons anyway, so the extra armor doesn't matter. But you're also up against men-at-arms and horsemen. It's kind of crazy. Where trade? True. See, this is why Myriad is the Giga Chad this week. Remember, he's going to be up against B later. Because what Myriad's thinking here is, man, if villagers can get 126 health, how much health can traders get? I'm with you, Myriad. I know where you were going. This game is becoming really hard to actually gauge the victor for. I love it. Anno back into the horseman. Remember, all the safe tree lines are starting to just disappear, so players are going to have to start taking risks. Wait, what? I thought he would have at least taken these out by now. I mean, in fairness, he has been spamming hand cannoneers, so it's been more about food gold than food wood. Rule attempt is going to be a fail. Luckily for Voldemar, his villagers are so tanky they can take a cannonball to the face and not die. So yeah, guys, what we need here, we need traders. We need armored caravans. Traders, I think, go up to, is it like 156 health or something? With an extra 3 armor, so they'll be at 6 melee armor. But we're not getting them. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, Anatan has raided here because I think he was expecting trade. And now he comes in and sees 0 traders, no marketplaces. You had to be feeling fairly good about this. We do all of a sudden have a lot of camel riders skewed up for Voldy. Surprised he actually has the gold to afford that at 45 a pop. Right, that's almost 1,000 gold into camel riders. Voldemar has nearly 2-to-1 destruction ratio and the game's still going. It is a bit deceptive, remember, because when Anatan has been killing spearmen, the wood would not process. But yeah, it has still been pretty good trades for him, right? Like killing a lot of hand cannons along the way. A little bit of a dive in from the HCs. Looks like the keeps are starting to fail them a bit. The camera riders have arrived. A good solution to the horsemen. Clutch repairs. Oh, no. That was so close. The final strike coming in just before the 2 extra horsemen died. It does get through some of the backline. Really important, those culverins now, because remember, last time, that was how Voldemar started to shrink the hand cannon near count. This time, he has to trust in the crossbows and the way of the camel. Find out if they're going to be good enough here. More men-at-arms are on the way. Small group left to hold on, and it looks like that should be good enough. Anatan starting to break through that front line, and Voldemar maybe struggling to actually keep the camels coming out quick enough here. Remember, Voldemar is missing a lot of critical ingredients here. He has no incendiary. He has no biology, no EAT. He's essentially playing Imperial Age Abbasids with some of the sickest culture wing builds we've seen, but lacking the university text in entirety. You cannot make this up. It's insane. He has got a uni, right? He got Siege Works, but every other uni tech rather is just missing. That's insane. I mean, did he get anything additional alongside that? I can't believe this. No EAT, no Incendiary, no Biology. So many missing things here. And yet, even without it, he has once again been able to push Anatan away. The trash is winning, man. The trash is winning. Anno now trying to switch into spears to answer the camel issue. Crossbow count might be a bigger concern here, though. He doesn't have a solid solution right now. The horseman count is quite underwhelming. 3 sacred sites captured for Anatan, mainly for the gold trickle, because he needs it to get HCs back online. Mid-dive in the base, a tricky one with all these static emplacements. Crossbows, I love this. Just camps in the middle of the production line where he sends the raiders in. Limited damage coming on the flanks. Not much that Voldemort needs to worry about, courtesy of the 126 HP. If he could just get Biology or Elite Army Tactics, I mean, maybe even just Incendiary is the one that's worth it here. Insane. Possibly the craziest play right now for Voldemort would be to prioritize Elite Army Tactics. And crazy in a good way, right? Crazy in a, whoa, this guy brought everyone a drink at the bar. Because what that does is essentially make sure that Anatan ends up a bit too much on the slosh side of things, right? With the extra melee armor, this plan into men-at-arms, horsemen, spears is going to be bad. Then you add in the camel arm on top of that, and all of a sudden, your spearman will never die. Crossbows have overextended, so it looks like Voldemort is going to lose the forward force. Did get the camel aura coming in again, so making it a bit more tanky, harder to kill. We have got the Corporate. It took them all this time to arrive, man. Corporates are so damn slow. I can't believe this. It looked like he was going to be pushed out of the base. And Anatan will still be able to shove him out, but there's not much of an army left here. The sacred sites are still captured though, right? Like Voldemort still needs to address that concern. Most of the outposts are gone around here, so he should realistically be able to get the decap. Yeah, especially this choice. Anno, he went for fortification first instead of cannon placement. The Culverins are in position to take that down. Just need to delay this a little bit longer. I think that's the decap. Anno is going to lose the win condition. And from there, he could easily just start to lose this game. Voldemort is now essentially out of gold, right? He's been selling quite a lot of food to try and just get enough to contest with Camel Riders, but he still does have 13 camps remaining. He's forced Anatan into full Spearman block. This is a good position to be in as Abbasids. Remember, they have the Phalanx tech, so they can have double the Spearman attack in the fights. They also have the extra armor from camels. This is exactly what he needs, and you've got to be kidding me. The 43-minute switch into veteran archers. There's one tech in there that Voldemort didn't have. He's got it, though. Composite bows has been researched. Anatan probably starting to feel is a little bit over-blobbed into one unit type. He does start to queue up the hand cannoneers again. Game that just feels like it's never going to end here. Voldemort is still at 133 economy. So, do you guys like maths? You guys love maths, right? If you combine all of Voldemort's 133 villages, they have 16,758 hit points. That's the maximum. Oh my god. Oh, new wave of spears and camels is here. And Anatan is kind of lacking on that back line. This has been a crazy game. It just looks like Anno's a bit starved now. Because you're getting into a meat grinder, right? And that's food difference. That's an area where Voldemort's definitely winning. I agree. The sacred sites have just kind of been a freebie for a long time, but they're so expensive to address with the cannon emplacements, right? Especially the keep drop on this side. So I can't understand why Voldemort hasn't directed his attention towards them. We do have a backline coming in. It's going to be the archer crossbow spam now. All the EU4 talk yesterday got me back into it last night. Can't tell if I'm being sarcastic when I say thanks, KP. So Johan is happy to hear this. Yo, Johan, when do I get create a commission code for generating sales? I think I've earned one. Looks like the villages have been found. Oh boy, so many of these villages are gonna die. I'm surprised he got one. And you are correct. Voldemort is getting the improved processing for 8% more resources whenever he drops off. A mini supervision effect for everyone, if you will. The ram play, I mean, pretty smart. He's start getting rid of the infrastructure. Anasan can't really have much wood left, at least in safe territory. He's got the east side still being contested. There's a break into the farms, villages. Can we not just get our ships out and fight? Nah, probably not. Elite army tactics would make it impossible. Archers are looking to mop that up. Hold him up. Has got a nice balance between backline and frontline here. However, Anatan is surging now into men-at-arms. And that's it. That actually convinces him it's over. No way. Voldemort, he just feels drained to the bone here. Anatan is actually going to get the 2-0. Even the best execution of a culture wing build we've ever seen could not be enough, and I'm sure Voldemort is going to be reviewing this game, looking back at the lack of university text coming through and feeling like that lost him the game. I can't believe this was the GG moment. If he could have just slivered together what he needed for EAT or even biology, how different this game would have looked. Let me know what you guys think in the comments though. Was this too preemptive of a GG? Was there a way back still for him? Do you think that this is the best culture wing build you've seen? And is it now convincing you to try it in your pubs? Let me know what you think. I'll catch you in the next chapter.